Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to Bearded Goblin Gaming. On this week's video, we're going to do some ruined chapel walls. They'll be able to be set up as scatter terrain in any configuration you want, or just some old mausoleum pieces from big to large, depending on how big of a set you make. Let's get going. Okay, so for our ruined walls, I drew up a couple little schematics, I guess. Usually I build mine with the bottom layer sitting at 3/4, and then from there I put a quarter inch line all the way up for as tall as I actually want the piece. I build mine with a max height of 5 inches, and they can be as wide as you want, as many windows as you want. The easiest way to do this is to make a template for the window that you want. We can do that now. You can just cut this one out here. And that should get us close enough that we can set them and make them look good the whole way. So what I'm going to do is we will mark 5. And this is just Dollar Tree expanded board. And since they're ruined walls, this doesn't have to be super perfect. But all your wall pieces are going to be two layers of this thick. So that's why you want to make sure that your bottoms are the same, because all you're going to do is flip them and stick them together and then just line up your window, and then you'll be gluing a piece of plastic card in the middle, whether it's broken and cracked or however you want to do it, and then you can actually paint your stained glass on that. So all I'm going to do is mark your 3/4 and then all your quarters. Okay, so there's that. And you can notice on my paper here, I'm about 1/8 of an inch for the bottom seal on the window. But you can go ahead and just line that up with the 3/4 mark and just go from there. Stay. And just depending on how close you want them, because like you can do fairly big sections all on their own and then some smaller ones. So like this one, I'll make it so it's more of a double window. And if you're doing this all the big like this, you'll already have pre-made pieces for rubble. Now one thing about it, I've only got one double here, so it's not really going to match up. I'm not going to have a second one, so I could always take one of these and put it on the back side and have it broken, you know, along this line here. Make sure your blade's good and sharp so you don't tear. Like that. Now you don't have to do an overlay on the window if you don't want to. You can actually scribe that right into it. And in that case, you would have wanted to put your windows down first and actually did stop gaps wherever your windows were. And now for the long part. So what you're going to want to do is start scribing your bricks in. And I am actually going to use this paintbrush here. Works really good. You see, just by pushing in, it actually gives me some pretty good looking bricks as it folds the chunks. It's not really uniform, but the spacing's good. And you could have taken your ball of tin foil beforehand and gone over and textured everything if you wanted to. I'm going to leave mine the way they are. So when you're coming over, you're going to want to, build so it comes around. You don't want to start down here, you'll never get it back. All you gotta do is back to back, and then you'll just go through once they're glued together, and then you can go through and pick out and put the back side of the bricks in. Now on them by themselves they're not going to stand up, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut another strip that's the 3/4 inches tall, and you're going to make your base wider. It doesn't have to be all the way across, but just give it a couple chunks that come out. And just layer it this way. Don't have them actually protrude this way. And then it'll give it a wide enough base that it should stand up just fine. And there you go. 2 new wall sections. Alright, after you get that done, go ahead and hit it with your Mod Podge, whether you use clear, black, brown, gray, whatever you're going to use. Just do that and then let it dry. There you go. And just leave those to dry, and we'll come back and get them painted. Okay, so next we'll do a little bit of stippling. I've got, what is that, gold ochre, some lighter gray, and some saffron yellow. This brown turned out to be pretty yellow, so I'm not even going to add this color to it. Okay, so now that we got that done, we'll go ahead and start on our stained glass windows, and then we'll do the wash last. So, get a nice fine point brush and decide on how complicated you want to make your piece here. Mine are going to be fairly simple. Take some cheap black paint. So we got a bunch of different greens. I got lots of, the two big windows are going to have grass in them, so. Instead of doing painting side to side, just do a little more of a stipple, and it'll give it a more stained glass effect. You don't have to go for complete coverage. Okay, so I'll get the rest of these painted up and then we'll come back for the dry wash, or the dry brush, and then the the wash stage. Okay, so we got those all painted up and pretty much the same three colors, just different looks to them. The broken ones, like I just went around real quick. So we're going to go ahead and we'll take a light gray. We can even use the same one that we stippled, I guess, or a little lighter maybe. Yeah, we'll go a little lighter. More of a wet brush than a dry brush. Just trying to get a little bit more coverage on there. Okay, so we got all those lightened up. We're going to go ahead and make our wash now. I'm never very specific with mine. I'm going to take a little bit of my paint water. My black wash. And my brown wash. And donuts. It doesn't matter if you really have runs in it, if it's been out in the rain. it's gonna be streaky with the way everything came down. We want a little bit more black just to tone it down a little bit. Alright, there you go. From here, if you wanted, you could take some old man's beard, some moss, and actually do some vine work and stuff on the sides. But once that's dry, they should look pretty good.